Good morning, folks. You're all very welcome to our machine tending webinar. This is the first in a series of webinars that we'll be holding over the coming weeks. We will cover various topics such as end-of-arm tooling, welding, palletizing, pick and place, pneumatic replacements, inspection, mobile industrial robots, and others. Next week's webinar will be end-of-arm tooling. So please keep an eye on your email and social media feeds, etc., to see when the next applicable webinar for you may be on. My name is Ronan Rasdale, and I'm an automation and robotics sales engineer with Reliance Automation. Please see my contact details on screen. We will likely be following up throughout, but if you need to get in touch, feel free on my email or indeed visit our website, www.relianceautomation.ie, and fill in the contact form there and we'll be in touch. In these times, we cannot obviously physically meet up, but we are available to discuss any application you may have, either by mail or indeed by conference call. We'll just run through a brief agenda to show you what we will cover today. We will look at Reliance Automation and what we do, what our business model is. We will then cover off collaborative versus industrial robots from a machine tending point of view. Reliance offer both collaborative and robots. Then look at the benefits of machine tending with robots. Look at machine tending kits, so how you can combine several elements to produce a top to bottom machine tending solution. We will then look at finance options, which may be applicable to you. And we will look at useful resources, so where you can find information to help you on your automation journey. As we go along, feel free to ask questions using the chat box. We have with us today David Leavesley from Universal Robots, Richard Shields from Nachi, and David Webb, our own applications engineer. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat box and we'll answer them as we go along. We'll answer as many as possible, and if not, we'll get to them at the end or indeed follow up via email. So Reliance Automation is a division of Reliance. Reliance is a fourth generation Irish-owned family business. Formed in Cork in the early 1920s, Reliance has grown to now be Ireland's largest distributor of technical products. Our main markets are pharmaceutical, med device, food, and general manufacturing. We have 3 branches, Dublin, Cork, and Limerick. I work out of our Dublin office, but the automation team are spread across all 3 of our locations. You can look on the right-hand side of the slide there, you'll see 2 photographs. The photograph on the bottom is Reliance HQ in Little Island in Cork as it stands today. And the photo on the top is Reliance HQ in Cork back in, we think, 1928. That site is now actually where the bus depot is in Cork, but you can see we've come a long way. We have 8 experienced external sales engineers and over 45 staff. We are ISO 9001 accredited and forward-thinking, progressive, and service-orientated. Reliance Automation are a technology distributor. We are not an integrator. We have, however, worked for many years and forged long-standing relationships with machine builders and OEMs the length and breadth of the country. This allows us to offer a truly nationwide service. It also allows us to lean on the specific expertise that each of our partners may have for specific applications or solutions. So no matter where you are based, north or south, we can offer you a solution to suit your automation need. We move on now and we look at collaborative robots versus industrial robots. So first, collaborative robots. So cobots or collaborative robots work in partnership with employees. Unlike traditional robots, cobots are designed to work with humans and not for humans. Cobots are equipped with features allowing seamless collaboration. Collaborative robots are designed with detection features that allow them to operate in the same envelope as humans. They're able to immobilize with the slightest touch, preventing injury to the operator or any person nearby. This eliminates the need for safety fencing on cages, since the cobot is designed to work around and collaborate with humans. Typically, they're much easier to program than industrial robots. They also tend to be smaller and more agile, allowing them to be moved around the factory to perform different tasks if necessary. Industrial robots is sort of a catch-all term, and it's used to cover all other robots. Everything from a tiny robot capable of lifting 1 kilo up to huge machines capable of lifting 2,500 kilos. They also tend to operate at much faster speeds than their collaborative counterparts. Typically, they will travel at over a meter a second, but many are capable of much faster speeds even than this. These robots will perform repetitive tasks. However, they will need to be guarded off from the workforce due to the loads that they are carrying and the speed at which they are traveling. It is worth noting that industrial robots can carry out collaborative tasks if the right safety measures are in place. However, many of these are not out of the box, so implementing these for robots for collaborative tasks can be complicated and costly. Machine tending is the process of feeding materials into CNC machines and other industrial fabrication machines. At the moment, most machine tending is still carried out by people, but robots are beginning to revolutionize this monotonous area of manufacturing. A robot can be used to tend machines such as CNC machines, injection molding, press brakes, stamp presses, and more. And this frees up employees to do more valuable tasks. Tending machines is one of the most straightforward tasks for a collaborative or industrial robot to automate. The benefits of automation for machine tending are many. Lower operating costs. Industrial robots, universal robots, for example, gives you all the advantages of CNC robotic automation with none of the traditional added costs associated, such as robot programming, setup, and dedicated shielded work cells. Robots will improve speed and precision, as well as reliability and quality. It will relieve machine operators from physically demanding, repetitive work and eliminate the risk of injuries. This also frees up employees for more valuable tasks within the organization. With universal robots, fast and flexible deployment, you can quickly adapt your production lines for new products. So if your workflow changes, the robot can be deployed quickly and easily elsewhere due to its small size and its lightweight design. At Reliance Automation, we offer both collaborative and industrial robots. Our collaborative offering comes from Universal Robots. They're the leading cobot supplier worldwide. Here you can see the UR range. So here you'll see the numbers that indicates the payload of the particular robot. So UR3E can automate tasks of up to 3 kilos, typically for tight spaces or on tabletops, a working radius of 500 millimeters. UR5 has commonly been used for machine tending, up to 5 kilos here with an 850 millimeter working radius. UR16 is a new addition. The 16 kilo payload allows for the robot to comfortably lift heavier billets. For example, 2 billets of 6 kilos each. Whereas UR10E, it's commonly used again for machine tending due to its reach and its payload. I'm going to show 2 videos here, one after the other, and they're both very similar, made by Robotic. First video, which we can see here, just shows how easy it is to integrate a collaborative robot into your process. The robot is ready to use pretty much out of the box. Plug it in, attach it to a work table or to a mount, Then we just attach a gripper or a suitable end of arm tool. And in a very short space of time, the robot is ready to work. And you can see in this instance, the guy is connecting the robot and the gripper. However, with the UR Plus ecosystem, this process is even simpler now than it is then. You can see here, starting to program the required points, etc. There is a bit of repetition in the next video showing that as well. So as I say, with the gripper that you can see I'm using here and getting it to work, these are now UR Plussed. And what that means is it's like the Apple store, if you like. The handshake between gripper and robot is done for you. So the grippers are now plug and play as well. This video, again by the same company, Robotic, shows how you would set the robot up for a machine tending task. So you can see here again, as we've already seen, the robot exceptionally easy to program and set up. However, what we're looking to do here is really lift a part from a defined place into the machine, close the door, have the part machined, and then program the robot to go in and lift the part out and put it down in a defined place. This can be made much simpler with the addition of items such as a mounting table and software which will interact between the CNC machine and the robot. We'll come to that later. Our industrial robot offering comes from Nachi. Nachi Robotics are part of the Japanese Nachi Fujikoshi Corporation. The robotics division has an annual revenue of more than $350 million. Nachi have a huge range of robots suitable for machine tending. We can see just 3 examples here. One from the MZ series, one from the MC series, and one from the MR series. MZ07 that we see here is obviously much faster than its collaborative counterparts, and it's IP67 too. Again, in the model numbers, MZ07 is a 7 kilo payload, MC20, 20 kilo, MR35 is 35 kilo. So the MZ07, fast little robot, 7 kilo payload, and IP67. MC20 then in the center is a 20 kilo payload and a long reach, 1700 millimeters in the horizontal. And then the MR series on the right hand side has an innovative design structure. So it makes it excellent for machine tending applications, as it allows the robot to be placed at the side of the machine. So it can provide an open front for machine maintenance. The 7th axis allows the robot to reach around the door opening, if you like. I'll just show a couple of videos now again. In the first video here, we can see 2 MZ07s carrying out a machine tending task. The robot can provide much faster cycle time than its collaborative counterparts. However, it's also neat enough to work comfortably in this space. The robot is not close or capable of contact with anybody. So as it's enclosed, it doesn't need any additional safety guarding. In this instance, maybe it'll loud this, we can see here an MZ12. The MZ12 has been used in this instance because of its reach. The robot is capable of reaching from the pick point into 2 different CNC machines. As it has the reach, it makes this particular robot ideal for this machine tending task. We'll look now at a couple of examples of robots in use for machine tending. These are more typical scenarios which we would come across on a regular basis. First, we look at a company called Presco. Presco are based here in Dublin and employ almost 100 people. They're a tier 1 supplier to the pharma, med device, aerospace and high-tech sectors. We'll often have large order batches, and these can present headaches in terms of their labour resource. Labour in general is fairly transient and difficult to maintain. Implementation of a UR5E has meant that the robot can perform extra shifts during lights out, as well as being left to work on its own during the day, only needing to be tended to remove parts and to feed parts every few hours. Integration with the Haas machine was done using digital I/O and installing a RAM for the opening and closing of the door. So the start signal is sent by the robot to the switch once the robot has reached a clear position. Similarly, a switch on the door RAM tells the robot that it's safe to enter the machine. Programmed very, very quickly by their CNC operator. He undertook some online training, which is provided by UR on their website, free of charge. And we did perhaps a half a day with him before the robot was installed. Now, he has since done a 2-day course, which is again available from Universal Robots. Essentially, this is as far as he can go in terms of becoming expert. He can do everything that he needs to do, and 99% of applications he will be well able to program at this stage. That's how simple these things are to program. Within a few hours, the robot was in and set up, and the robot has allowed them to show instant gains on production. They're now being able to machine over 140 pieces a day, whereas previously this was 80 and perhaps 90 on a good day. So return on investment has been able to be shown by them to be achievable in easily within 12 months, and went on now and purchased a second. I'm just going to show a quick video here. Now, this is a video which we took on a mobile phone the day that the robot was installed, so forgive me. There have been a few improvements since then, most notably around the feeding of the robot. You can see here, the robot picks apart. Now we have a dual gripper setup on the robot here. So that enables the robot to go into the machine, pick out a machined part, which you'll see doing here. This part's not actually machined, and that this was us setting it up. And then the gripper can turn around and place the blank into the machine, ready to be machined. So it then takes its machined part out through the door. You'll notice the RAM on the door here just as it's moving out. The robot has now sent a signal to close the door and machine that part. It drops the machined part into a bin. Back it goes to the start to begin the process all over again. We built a little chute there, as you can see, for feeding the parts to the robot. This has since been replaced with a larger chute actually for this particular machine. Move now to another example. This is from the UK, where again a UR5E was installed. A much smaller company than Presco, but similar issues. Again, labour, reliability and capacity were the main drivers for the robot installation. In order for this install to proceed, they needed to be able to slide the robot out of the way to allow them to use the machine for smaller runs during the day. So a datum point and a pin are used to slide the robot into position. If you look at the picture there on the right, if you look at the bottom of the machine, you can see the robot's on a slide, and over on the right-hand side of the slide, you can see that there's a silver pin. This is where the robot is in position, so it's used as a datum point. What they've also done here, they've made their own loading table. So you can see the loading table is made, and you can see again it's attached to the ground to use a bracket, so they know where the table is at all times. And this is ideal for them to load the machine. So the machined part is simply dropped into a bin once completed. So this allows them to leave the robot to machine a table of parts either overnight or during breaks, etc., when the machine has not been used for smaller runs. This has allowed them to show a 40% gain on productivity instantly, and once again, an ROI of less than 12 months. Move on now to machine tending kits. So we can tailor design a kit to suit your particular needs. We can recommend all of the necessary parts that you needed. As a distributor, we not only supply the robots, but we also supply all of the ancillaries that you might need. This means that we can be a one-stop shop, if you like. So everything you need is in one kit. It saves you time having to source a robot and then source a gripper, feeding solution, extra software, or whatever it is that you need. Everything can be provided in a kit, if you like, so you can buy everything from the one place, and support, etc., is all provided from the one place. I'm going to show a quick video here of a software package which has been developed that allows integration with your CNC machine to become much, much easier. So here the programs which are stored on your CNC machine can be ran directly from your robot pendant. In this particular case, it's a Haas machine, but there are available for other machines as well. So you can see all of the programs can be ran from the pendant. In quite a lot of instances, we found that people may not wish to go for the software integration. The integration with the machine can be done by digital I/O. This particular company has also developed a set of soft jaws for handling the workpiece. To be brutally honest, we've seen less demand for these. But you can see how companies are becoming smart and making the integration of the robot much, much easier, supplying end-to-end solutions, if you like, software to integrate and allow everything to be done much, much simpler than in the past. So we can supply all of the necessary component parts for any solution. So here we can see an end-to-end CNC solution. So your feeder or mount, the robot obviously, and then the gripper or dual gripper, depending on the setup that you need, and indeed the software. That can be integration software or indeed software for offline programming, etc. We can come take a look at your particular application and then be able to advise you that you will need one or all of these component parts to come up with an end-to-end CNC solution. Software such as picking and placing to a pattern, that sort of thing, that comes free with the robots now. With both Nachi and Universal Robots, you can get those type of programs for free. We're going to take a look now at some of the finance options, should you need it. The next slide will detail some of the advantages of leasing. Leasing can be a useful option for businesses who wish to avail of the advantages of automation without having to come up with the CapEx. Our partner DLL will tailor a plan to suit your particular business. First off, obviously, there's no big cash outlay. You can get the robots that you need now without a significant down payment. You can get the equipment that you need to grow, so you can finance the entire solution, not only the robot, but also the end effector, installation, additional hardware, conveyor, etc. You can make the package suit your particular cash flow. So for example, if you're busy in the summer and you would like to pay a bit more and then not as busy in the winter, that can be done. You can tailor a solution whereby payments will suit your particular cash flow. Our finance partner DLL will offer low and very competitive rates on your entire solution. Leasing does allow you to remain tech agile. So if, for example, technology emerges in 12 months' time or before the end of your contract and you would like to upgrade, that can be done at any time throughout your contract. Unlike traditional lending, the financial products don't affect your bank's line of credit, so your access to capital remains intact. Your contracts are flexible, so at the end, you can either lease new equipment, return the robots, or continue on, whatever you wish to do. And there are also tax advantages to leasing. So deductible business expenses, equipment depreciation, etc., etc. So again, there are advantages to leasing which are there. And if you wish to look at a project and financing it through a form of leasing, speak to us and we will put you in touch with our partner. We're going to look now at some useful resources. Obviously, we at Reliance Automation should be your number one resource. We'll happily carry out a site survey and advise on any automation project that you have. So this is a free service where we can go out on site and take a look at what's required and might provide the best return on investment for your business. Obviously, with the current environment, this might be difficult to do physically, but we are still available to look at videos or emails and discuss with you. There are also some excellent resources available to you, and we'll look at those now in a moment if you're planning an automation project. First off, Universal Robots Application Builder. This is an excellent resource for anyone considering a collaborative robot application. You visit www.universalrobots.com and then under Services and Resources, you will find it. Here you can build an actual visualization of what your application might look like. On it, you choose the robot from the UR range that will be most suitable. You then choose the type of gripper, pneumatic, electric, or adaptive. You choose your tool setup, be that single or dual gripper. A lot of people, when looking at CNC applications, will automatically say, we'll go with the dual gripper because it speeds up cycle time. However, you need to also consider that when you implement a dual gripper, it does make your end of arm tooling a little bit more cumbersome. So perhaps putting it in and out of the CNC machine might be a little bit more awkward. If your machining time is quite long between parts, perhaps this feeding time is not as important. So a single gripper may be a little bit more agile and more suited. Again, we can take a look at that and weigh up the pros and cons and help you along the way. You then choose your in-feed, whether that be fixed, such as the little video we've seen from Presco there, coming down a chute, or in a pattern, so on a table in a pattern. And then choose the outfeed in the same way. So whether you want the part dropped into a bin from the one part, or whether you want it laid out into a grid pattern on a table, etc. as well. Then choose how you're going to interface with your CNC machine. That can be by digital I/O, Modbus, Profinet, Ethernet IP, etc. What you will then get is a customized solution package. So on the left-hand side of the bottom picture there, you will see a program. This is an actual working program for a robot. Obviously, the waypoints will be different in your particular facility, etc. However, this program is a real program. So you'll get a template for how to program it. You will then also get a series of how-to cards. So how to set up your gripper, how to connect your digital I/O, your program, a template for that, etc. So your how-to cards are given to you as well. So a real walkthrough from start to finish of how you would go about implementing a universal robot into a machine tending solution. You then also get a functional simulation, so a little video which shows you what it actually might look like. Superb resource. Other useful resources that you can get, Nachi Robots, on their website, they have a machine tending section. You will see lots and lots of videos here of robots tending different machines and how they go about it. And then our other partner, one of our other partners, On Robot, who do end of arm tooling, again, they have a particular section on their website for machine tending and machine tending applications. From an end of arm tooling point of view, you can decide whether electric two-finger gripper is most suitable, or maybe the round centrifugal type gripper, which they have just brought out, might be more suitable for round parts, for example, into your CNC machine. That's it, folks. Nothing else. Thank you very, very much for your time today. We'll be back next week when David Weld will be looking at end of arm tooling. So a link to that webinar is on our website, www.relianceautomation.ie. and on our LinkedIn and Instagram pages. We'll also be communicating the details in the coming days. I think the guys have handled most of the questions as we're going along. I don't think there's anything else there. So once again, thanks very much for your time and stay safe. Thank you.